Funfetti edible cookie dough, but this time it's a single serving. 2 tablespoons of softened butter, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and half a tablespoon of brown sugar. Now we're gonna cream these together. You can do it by hand, but it helps to use a mixer like this so that all the sugar gets dissolved and it's not as grainy. Now add half a cup of cake mix. I recommend heat treating this to kill any potential bacteria, but y'all really seem to like to live on the edge, so do what you want. And finally, a little touch of milk to get it all together. Okay, this is the cutest. This is the taste.
Here's how you make apple skillet cake with caramel frosting. Start by gently melting unsalted butter over medium heat. Now add in your apples, brown sugar, and salt, and cook until the sugar has dissolved and the apples are slightly softened. Now on to the dry ingredients. In a bowl, combine flour, baking powder, salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves, and set aside for later. In a separate bowl, cream together unsalted butter and dark brown sugar until smooth. Now crack in 3 eggs, one at a time, whisking the mixture after each one. Stir in the flour mixture until just combined, then add in the caramelized apples and transfer the batter to a generously greased 10-inch skillet. Spread the batter evenly and bake for 30 to 35 minutes at 350 degrees. While the cake bakes, let's make some caramel frosting. Combine unsalted butter and sifted powdered sugar until smooth. Now mix in melted caramel candies. Once the caramel is combined, add in cinnamon, cream, and vanilla. Once the cake has cooled completely, evenly cover with frosting, finish with a sprinkle of flaky salt.
Today I'm going to show you guys how to make the fettuccine alfredo from Olive Garden, but 10 times better. And if you want the recipe for these Texas Roadhouse rolls, they're in my last video. You want to begin by mincing your onion and garlic. Here I have 1 small onion minced as well as a handful of garlic, adding them to a heated pan with some olive oil. You want to saute them until your onions become nice and translucent, and also when they give off that beautiful aroma. Add a half a stick of butter and let it melt. Also, don't forget to boil your pasta early on, so our sauce and our pasta can be done at the same time. But back to our sauce, our butter has melted. I added a half a pack of cream cheese, about 2 cups of heavy cream, a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, a handful of chopped parsley, seasoned with about a teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and black pepper. Added in 1/4 cup of pasta water. Let my sauce come to a boil and then added in my pasta. Give your pasta a taste, see if it needs any more salt. Then go ahead and plate your pasta. I topped mine with some more parsley. Enjoy with your rolls. The recipe for the rolls will be up tomorrow on my Instagram, and the pasta will be up
Cooking 15-minute dinner for 15 days. 2 pieces of black cod, a little Chinese cooking wine, some ginger on top, 2 thin slices of ginger. Now we're gonna steam the fish for 10 minutes. 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Mix together until the sugar is dissolved. Heat 4 tablespoons of oil. Remove the ginger and green onion. Transfer the fish onto the new plate. Put on your ginger, white parts of the green onion, half of the green onion. Pour on the sauce, pour on the hot oil. Now look at that.
Welcome back, folks. This is my attempt at making tudong. We're gonna need some egg whites, some nice roasted nuts, some candied orange peel, and then we're gonna get some sugar and honey into a pot simmered on medium-low. Once you've got that going, we're gonna start whipping our egg whites. It's probably easier to use an electric mixer, but if you're looking for a good arm workout, give this a try because it's not easy. We're whisking this until we see some soft peaks form, and then we're gonna slowly incorporate this into our sugar mixture on low. Temperature is key because we don't want the egg whites to clump up. We're looking for that nice, smooth, velvety consistency. After reducing, we're gonna throw in the rest of our ingredients, and normally you would use a specialty wafer paper to prevent this from sticking to the pan, but I didn't have any of those, so I ended up using a mixture of cornstarch and powdered sugar, which was difficult to get out of the pan, but it still did the trick. I found that using a serrated knife works best for cutting, and I ended up with something that looks like this. It was my first time trying this, so I wasn't expecting perfection. It tastes good and the texture seems right. I know there's a few different ways to make this. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world, but it was fun to try.
Not to toot my own horn or anything, but this coffee cake is actually perfect. Start by combining a half cup of brown sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Then, to make the streusel, lightly mix 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of brown sugar, a half teaspoon of kosher salt, 4 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a half cup of cooled melted butter with a fork. It should look something like this. To make the pound cake, cream together a half cup of softened butter with 1 cup of sugar. Then add 2 eggs and some vanilla and mix. Then add 2 cups of flour, a half teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Then mix together 1 cup of sour cream and a half cup of buttermilk and add that to the batter. Mix everything until well combined and spread half the batter in a lined baking tray. Sprinkle over the cinnamon sugar, add the rest of the batter, and top it with the streusel. Bake it at 350 for 32 minutes, and that's it. The full recipe is on my Instagram. I hope you try it and let me know what.
So I don't do too many seafood or vegetarian dishes, but I do make a pretty mean salmon. These big fillets are perfect for meal prep at the beginning of the week. I love having salmon on deck to just throw in a salad or eat it for lunch. Salmon has so many health benefits, and it's something I definitely try and include in my diet. The marinade is a mixture of coconut aminos, sriracha, ginger, garlic, sesame oil, salt, and pepper. You could even swap all of this out for a store-bought teriyaki sauce. This is just what I like to do. I threw this in the oven at 425 for about 15 minutes and it came out perfect. And for more easy recipes, be sure to hit that follow button.
This is the latest and greatest smoked queso, and I want to show love to Kingsford Charcoal because this masterpiece wouldn't have been possible without them. You're gonna start in the Dutch oven, cook down your pork sausage or any sausage, and then you're gonna get your Monterey Jack cheese, cut it into blocks, and get like a 1-inch block, and do the same for the Velveeta and the Oaxaca cheese, and throw it straight into the Dutch oven. Dice up half of a white onion, throw it straight into the Dutch oven. Garlic press 2 garlic cloves straight into there, or mince it, 1 can of Rotel, and then get about 1 whole jalapeno's worth of pickled jalapenos. This is important. And that's it. Now we gotta prepare the grill for smoking. You're gonna place a container of water underneath for moisture, and on top of the Kingsford charcoal briquettes, you're gonna add some soaked wood chips. It's going to start smoking immediately, and you just gonna want this smoke in there at like 350 to 400 for like an hour, stirring it like once or twice. And the final product is insane. It's savory and smoky because we did it on the grill, and it is well worth the time. Something you should try. Yes.
So this is how I've been meal prepping my salmon for the past couple of weeks because it's so juicy, comes out perfect each and every time. So the first thing I do is cut it into chunks, no skin. Then I spritz some avocado oil, salt, black pepper, add the secret ingredient, the seafood blend. This is so good. Then I put some onion and herb, salt-free. And then because I do everything garlic, I add some garlic powder. Bake in a 400-degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Then, after that, you can stick it in the broiler for about 1.5 minutes and it comes out perfect each and every time.
Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to make these amazing low-carb wet burritos. Keep in mind they're not keto necessarily, but they are low-carb. You're going to preheat your oven to 350. Dice up some onions, throw them in with your meat. Make your taco meat as you normally would. These just are the seasonings that I use, but you can use whatever that you like. I also shred my own cheese, but you don't have to. I used Colby Jack and Chihuahua cheese for this one. I use the Carb Balance low carb tortillas, and I fill them with the meat and both cheeses. Spray your pan and roll up your burritos. Throw on your enchilada sauce. It can be whatever you like. Just check the labels, make sure it's low carb. I also put on some jalapenos and some green onions because I had some left over. Put them in the oven for 20 minutes and enjoy.
So here's how to make my
Alright, I'm gonna show y'all how I make my pot roast. First you put the meat in, then you pour the Lipton onion packet in. Next comes ranch. Pour however much you like. I like to use the whole thing. 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. 1 thing of water. These are bell peppers. I add 1 bell pepper. I just grab some carrots and use however much I want. I love onions, so that's a whole onion. Some butter. Some potatoes cut and washed. And then I add a lot of pepperoncinis because I love pepperoncinis and it gives it a little spicy. Put it on high.
Tonight we're making bucatini alla San Giovanni, and the dialect is San Giovanniet. Canned tuna, Italian tuna. 2 teaspoons of olive oil. 1/4 cup of onions. 3 cloves of garlic. Some capers. We got celery leaves, basil, pinch of salt, a little hot pepper. Onions and salt, a little white wine, fresh Campari tomato. Throw in our bucatini. Worcester sauce, throw the tuna in. Pasta nice and al dente. Sauce.
Here's a healthy, satisfying burrito bowl I often have for one of my 2 meals that you can easily make all in one pot and great to meal prep. Follow my lead. Start with some olive oil in a hot pan, then add 1 diced onion and 1 diced green pepper. Mix until soft and lightly charred, then add 1 cup of ground turkey, some salt, black pepper, garlic powder, paprika, and onion powder. Cook until crispy golden brown. Then add 1 cup of unsalted canned diced tomatoes, half a cup corn, half a cup black beans, 1 cup of washed uncooked brown rice, and 1.5 cups of water. Mix well, bring to a boil, then cover and simmer on low heat for 30 minutes. Should be cooked to perfection. Add some cheese if you like, and there you go. Enjoy.
So it's going to be the easiest lunch ever. Get a low carb tortilla, put some pepperonis and mozzarella cheese on it, roll it up and stick it in the toaster oven for a few minutes so it gets nice and toasty. Take it out.
If you're a brie lover, you absolutely need this appetizer in your life. So first, preheat your oven to 450 degrees. Then you're going to hollow out your bread in the shape of your brie cheese. Then slice that top layer off of the brie. Put some olive oil, salt, and pepper inside of the bread, and then put your cheese into that hollowed out section. Then you're gonna cut down lines in the bread so that it'll pull apart once it's done cooking. Next, add on your cranberry sauce. I practically added the whole jar. This stuff is so good. Next, put that top piece of bread on and pop it into the oven for 20 minutes. And it's as simple as that. I'm not kidding. This is the best thing I've ever tasted. If you need an appetizer for Thanksgiving or a football watch party, you need to make this.
All right, let's make these really good pork chops, man, in gravy sauce. These will be done in no time, like 20 minutes. I season these bad boys up with thyme, black pepper, and sea salt. Sear these on each side for about 4 minutes, and then I'm going to remove them. They're almost done at that point, believe it or not. Now I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 medium onion. Go ahead and cook that down for about 3 minutes. Now at this point, I'm going to add a pear in there. Cook that down for about another 2 minutes. Add some more black pepper in there. Now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Make sure you cook that out. And then about 1.5 cups of chicken broth right here, right? Go ahead and mix all that up. Let it thicken up a little bit. 1/2 tablespoon of chicken bouillon. Add the chops back in there and let it go for about another 4 to 5 minutes until it starts looking like that. And it's pretty much done. Check that out. Now let's plate this beauty up. Check that out. Now take a bite out of this beauty and enjoy.
Y'all already know I ain't no cook, but I got kids, so let's make this sloppy Joe biscuits. Y'all already know how to cook y'all meat. I'm not finna explain all that. Cook your meat. Then you gonna grease your pan like this. Get it nice and sprayed down. Then you gotta get your biscuits right. You gotta flatten them mugs on out. Flatten them. It ain't gotta be cute because you're the only person that's gonna be seeing this. Then you gonna put them on your pan. Get it nice and smushed down because you need room to put your stuff inside of it. I mean, not like that. That didn't sound right. But anyway, put your cheese in it. Then you're gonna put your sloppy Joe in it. Now, don't be trying to be too neat. You cooking for the kids, not for the 5-star restaurant or nothing. Then you're going to put some more cheese on top of it because in this house, we like cheese. But then you got to bake these mugs, so you have to read the back of the biscuits instructions to find out because I don't remember all that. But when you done, this is what you going to get. It's dinner time. Ooh.
If you're in a calorie deficit, these pumpkin pie spice pancakes come in at only 200 calories. 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour, 1/2 teaspoon pumpkin pie spice, 1/4 cup applesauce, 3 tablespoons almond milk, and a splash of vanilla extract. 2 tablespoons egg whites, some baking powder, and some pink salt. Mix everything together. Spray your pan down with some nonstick spray and dollop in 1 tablespoon each of the batter. They should only take a few minutes to cook, and it makes about 8 mini pancakes. You can top them off with syrup, nut butters, or even some coconut whip.
I'm going to tell y'all my secret for getting the best hamburgers you'll ever have, and they're keto. Here's what you'll need. Some Frank's Red Hot Sauce Original Seasoning you can get at Walmart. And then I use light Italian Olive Garden dressing. I know it sounds weird, y'all, but these are so good. So you just drench your burgers front and back with the Italian dressing. And then you're going to sprinkle the seasoning over the front and the backs. I like to add quite a bit. And then you can add salt and pepper if you want, but I usually find that the seasoning's plenty. So I cook mine on the Traeger, but you can cook it however you want. So this is what it looks like coming straight off the grill. So juicy, so full of flavor. And then I build mine with some homemade mayo, red onions, tomatoes, and some pickles, and this is the best daggum keto hamburger you'll ever have.
No meal is truly complete without sauce, so let's make this addictive cilantro one.
To a food processor, add 1 bunch of cilantro, 6 garlic cloves, 2 jalapenos with the seeds removed, then pulse it finely. Now we'll add 1 cup of mayo, juice of half a lime, and season it with salt, black pepper, and some cayenne if you like it spicy. Pulse that again, but not too much so that you can still see those beautiful specks of cilantro. And there you have it, super simple and delicious. If you'd like to serve it with the lomo saltado, check out my last video for the full recipe. And
15-minute plant-based meals for 15 days. I always get asked why vegans try to emulate meat with plants in their diet. And the truth is, most of us didn't go vegan because we hate the taste or texture of meat. We just want to enjoy these foods without the environmental destruction and loss of an animal's life. It can also be easier to make that transition when you're able to eat these familiar foods and flavors that also align with your values, like this 15-minute mushroom pulled pork sandwich.
If you love garlic, this technique is going to change your life. Fill a saucepan up with peeled garlic and cover it with oil. Place the garlic in a 200-degree Fahrenheit oven for 3 hours. And I know it sounds like a lot of time, but you literally don't have to do anything besides stick it in the oven. It's called garlic confit, and it's going to award you with roasty, toasty, smashable, spreadable garlic cloves that do not leave you with dragon's breath. Pour the confit